Cougars? All right, today we're going to be looking at how to factor numerical expressions. So we're going to be looking at this word factor. And so factor, we know, is when we take numbers and we use them to find a product or an outcome of for a multiplication problem. And so we're going to be using the word factor, and we're going to be creating equivalent expressions still. So we're going to use what we learned about distributive property. We're going to be using factors. You're going to be multiplying. You're going to be finding equivalents. There's all kinds of stuff happening in today's lesson. So buckle up and hold on tight because it's going to be a wild ride. All right, are you ready? Okay. So, first, we're going to talk about factoring with the greatest common factor. So, a common factor is a factor that, is a factor that two numbers have in common, or three numbers have in common, or four numbers have in common. So it's similar. It's a multiplying number that two or three or four numbers would have in common. So it is and we use this as like greatest common factor. We call this the GCF. The greatest common factor is the biggest number that can go into or multiply two numbers. The biggest factor or multiplier from two numbers. It's what they have in common. It's what they have that's similar, okay? All right, so we're going to look at what this means. All right, we are going to be creating a distributive model. So instead of me giving you the distributive model, you're going to be making the distributive model today. And what in the world does that mean? So I'm going to give you a numerical expression, and you are going to be making me a distributive property. Okay, for example, let's talk about this. We have something that looks like this. It says to factor 18 plus 30 using the GCF, or the greatest common factor, which is the biggest number that two numbers can multiply to have. So we're going to be creating the greatest common factors. So I have factor 18 plus 30. So I'm going to be looking at this number 18 first, and we're going to break down the number 18. So to multiply to get 18, my factors are 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, not 4, not 5, not 6. Well, 6 goes again, right? So we're not going to worry about that one because it's already right there. Okay, let's look at 30. I have the number 30 right here. So let's talk about 30. To make up 30, I get 1 and 30. 2 times 15. 3 times 10. 5 times 6. Oh my gosh, look, it circled back on itself. 5 and 6 again. Whoa. Okay, now let's look at the ones that they have in common. they have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 6. Nothing else is in common. The greatest common factor, the biggest one they have in common, is 6. This is our special number. 6 is our special number. So we're going to take this factor pair, or our expression, our numerical expression of 18 plus 30, and we need to factor it now. We're going to create a distributive model. So in order to get 18, to get my 18, I did 6 times 3. To get 30, I did 6, because 6 is my special number, it goes first, 6 times 5. And originally I was adding, so I want to make sure that I am adding. Well, this doesn't quite look like a distributive model yet. So we need to make it look like a distributive model. So I'm going to take my special number, I'm going to slap it on the outside of some parentheses, and then I'm going to cut the fluff. And I'm just going to put 6 times 3 plus 5. And I say that 6 times 3 is 18, and 6 times 5 is 30. This numerical expression is equivalent to this distributive model. You have factored and created a distributive model from a numerical expression. Look at that. Okay, we're going to do another one together. All right. This one says 20 minus 12. And so we're going to take the 20 and we're going to find the factors of 20. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3, no, 4, yes, 5, yes, and that's it. Okay, now we're going to look at the 12. Okay, ready? 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Nothing else. Now we're going to find what they have in common. Okay, they have a 1, a 2, no 4s. Oh, no 3s, I mean. Oh, but look at these 4s. They do have 4s in common. So the greatest common factor, that's why it's really important to double check all of your digits, because I almost said 4 wasn't it, but you guys were like, Miss Englander, it's right there. It says 4 on both of them. What are you thinking, lady? Okay, the greatest common factor that they have in common is indeed 4. 4 is going to be our special number. So we're going to take the 4, and we're going to say to make 20, we do 4 times 5. To make 12, we do 4 times 3. But we subtract in the middle because it's asking us originally to subtract. Now we're going to create a distributive model. To make the distributive model, we're going to take our special number 4, and we're going to pop that on the outside. And then we're going to squish everything else together. 4 times 5 minus 3. Now let's check it. Do we get our original answer? 4 times 5, when I distribute, gives me 20. 4 times 3 minus, so 4 times 3 is 12. I get my original answer. So remember, when you're done, you have to go back and distribute again to see if you get the answer. Okay, it is your turn to try it. It is your turn to try it, and I want you to factor 9 plus 15. go ahead and factor 9 plus 15. Hit pause so that you don't hear me speaking while you're trying it. Okay, ready? Go. All right, so 9, factors of 9 are 1 and 9 and 3 times 3. 1 times 9, yep, 3 times 3. Perfect. Okay, factors of 15 are, oops, not 15, 1 and 15, not 2, not 3, oh, 3. 3 times 5. Oh, and then I'm already right there again. Okay, and the biggest one that they both have in common, the one they both have in common here is 3. So to get 9, I do 3 times 3. To get 15, I do 3 times 5. And my final answer then, when I squish everything together to get my distributive model, is 3 times 3 plus 5. How did you do? Is that what you got? Okay, over here out to the side, make a box, put your rating in there, and then answer your essential question. How do we factor numerical expressions? So in your own words, tell me, how do we factor numerical expressions? And then head on over to Google Classroom, see what your practice work is. If you have any questions, make sure that you stop by, ask me in the Google Meet, make notes in your notes. If you need help with anything, so that way you can get the help that you need. And as always, make it a great day the Cougar way.